Jaya Radha Madhava Sridham Vallabha Girivara Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe, Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Gauravinandi. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Tri Vradgacharya Stotra Satya Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Skandiviti Founder Charya's Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jainitai Gauda Pimanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki. Om Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Sharakaya Chakshurindritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Abandeham Sri Guru Sri Jita Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitam Scha Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tribhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Dharam Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Nara, Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayashabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamashloke Bhaktir Bhaviti Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed or practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, it becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samitam Utamashloka Charitam Sakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreya Sayalokasya Dhanyam Swasyayanam Mahat. The Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God as Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 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 Om Sarabhyai Namaha 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 Mukam karoti vasalam pangum langayate girim yat kripat maham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam Yat kripat maham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to all our international guests. Everyone here is international.
You're right. It's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, we're all the Indians. We are continuing from Canto number 1, chapter 18, which is entitled Maharaj Parikshit Cursed by a Brahmana Boy. And yesterday we read 2 verses. Today we are reading text number 29. Yes. Abhuta Purva Sahasa Kshut Tridbhyam Arditat Manaha Brahmanam Prati Abhud Brahman Matsaro Manur Eva Cha Abhuta Purva Sahasa Kshut Tridbhyam Aditat Manaha Brahmanam Pratyabhud Brahman Matsaro Manur Evacha Abhutta Purva Sahasa Kshut Tridbhyam Aditat Manaha Brahmanam Pratyabhud Brahman Matsaro Manur Evacha Abhuta Purva Sahasa Kshut Tridbhyam Arditat Manaha Brahmanam Pratyabhud Brahman Matsaro Manyurevacha.
Abhutpurva Sahasa
Abhutta Purva Sahasa
Sutrabhyam Arditatmana
Kshutribhyam Aditatmanaha
Brahmanam Pratya Abhud Brahman
Brahmanam Pratyabhud Brahman
Matsaro Manyurevacha
Matsaro Manyurevacha.
Abhuta Purva Sahasa
Abhutta Purva Sahasa
Sutribhyam Ajitatmanaha
Kshutribhyam Aditatmanaha
Brahmana Prati Abhut Brahman
Brahmanam Pratyabhud Brahman
Matsaro Manyur Evacha
Matsaro Manyurevacha. Abhutta Purvaha
Abhuta Purva
unprecedented Sahasa circumstantially Kshut hunger Tridbhyam as well as by thirst Ardita being distressed At Manaha of his self Brahmanam unto a Brahmana Prati against Abhut became Brahman O Brahmanas Matsaraha envious Manyuhu angry,
angry,
eva,
eva,
thus,
thus,
cha,
cha.
and.
and
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
Jai.
O Brahmanas,
O Brahmanas,
uh, the king's anger and envy directed toward the Brahmana sage were unprecedented, being that circumstances had made him hungry and thirsty. Now you may kindly repeat after me. O Brahmanas,
O Brahmanas,
the king's anger and envy. The king's anger and envy.
Different purport.
Is it?
that's
Is the purport of this is a translation of the
The
verse?
translation. What do you have? Let me give it to you.
O Brahmanas, the circumstances having distressed him with extreme hunger and thirsty, the king directed towards the sage his anger and envy, which he had never before directed towards the Brahmana.
Different. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, the meaning is the same.
Yeah. So you kindly repeat after me.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. O Brahmanas,
O
O
Brahmanas,
Brahmanas,
the king's anger and envy
the king's
king's
anger and envy
directed toward the Brahmana sage
directed towards the Brahmana sage
were unprecedented,
were unprecedented,
being that circumstances
being
that
the
circumstances
had made him hungry
had made him hungry
and thirsty.
and thirsty.
Yes. Purport. For a king like Maharaj Parikshit to become angry and envious, especially at a sage and Brahmana, was undoubtedly unprecedented. The king knew well that Brahmanas, sages, children, women, and old men are always beyond the jurisdiction of punishment. Similarly, the king, even though he commits a great mistake, is never to be considered a wrongdoer. But in this case, Maharaj Parikshit became angry and envious at the sage due to his thirst and hunger. Due to his thirst and hunger by the will of the Lord. The king was right to punish the subject for coldly receiving him or neglecting him, but because the culprit was a sage and a Brahmana, it was unprecedented. As the Lord is never envious of anyone, so also the Lord's devotee is never envious of anyone. The only justification for Maharaj Parikshit's behavior is that it was ordained by the Lord. I'm reading again my translation.
We can go to PrabhupadaBooks.com and get the original.
The original
Yeah, it's called PrabhupadaBooks.com.
Prabhupada books. So you have the same as this one.
This is what you're reading, what I'm looking at.
Oh, okay.
It's the
You have the
original.
same. We're on the same page. I mean, same translation.
Yeah,
It's Vedabase.
Hmm?
Vedabase.com.
database is different. It's not the original.
Yes. So we will read again the translation. O Brahmanas, the king's anger and envy directed toward the Brahmana sage were unprecedented, being that circumstances had made him hungry and thirsty. So this is a very interesting incident, which in many ways has gone down in history for describing the, we could say, animosity or the differences that have existed largely in Kali Yuga between Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. This is commented upon by, I believe, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We know from Srimad Bhagavatam and from Bhagavad Gita how within the ordained system of Varna and Asrama, especially when it is focused on the divine aspect, Daiva, Varnashrama, every member of that system is meant to be a devotee, is meant to practice devotional service. And therefore, when one actually practices pure devotional service, then there is no enmity, there is no clash. There is no clash between the classes. Yeah. So we can rightly say that actually Daiva Varnashrama is, as Prabhupada wrote in his essay on Gita Nagari, it is the fourth of the movements, right? Fourth movement, what did Prabhupada call it? Classless society.
Classless society.
Classless society. So classless society in this context, as given by Srila Prabhupada, means clashless society. Clashless.
Clashless.
Classless society is meant to mean no clash, no conflict. If someone is actually situated on the higher consciousness of being a devotee. And of course, here the difficulty here is that King Parikshit is on that level. Still, this is happening. And of course, Prabhupada, even before this verse and in this verse as well, in purport, is explaining how this is really, this was unexpected on the part of Yudhishthira, Parikshit Maharaj, in a similar way that it was unexpected for Arjuna to become bewildered, but he did, yeah. So here it points out how Hare Krishna. Yes. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada points out how this is the Vedic culture where great personalities, kings in particular, those who are leaders in society, number 29 is what we're reading. They are meant to give special care and attention, as listed here, to brahmanas, children, women, elderly persons. Cow is not mentioned here, but it's mentioned in some other place. Yeah. Means those living entities who are especially dependent. Those living entities who are dependent naturally require special care, special attention, special protection. So, mm, so normally this kind of situation, which is being described here in terms of what we will see in the next few verses. Um, Here it actually mentions how Parikshit Maharaj became angry and envious. So generally devotees don't become angry or envious, isn't it? Uh, Devotees may become angry, uh, like Hanumanji. Hanuman became angry. Prabhupada said Hanuman could not have burned down Lanka without being angry. Arjuna could not have fought. You know, you can't fight somebody if you're like peaceful. You have to be. That's why Kshatriyas, they can utilize. They are meant to utilize. They have to utilize anger to punish or to uphold the principles of dharma. So anger can be utilized uh, in the service of Krishna. But most people, of course, including ourselves, very often, we will utilize anger because something is not right in terms of our so-called well-being. Means we will utilize anger not for the purpose it can be utilized for. So it is most unusual that Parikshit Maharaj, who's a pure devotee, such an exalted personality, that he became disturbed. He became disturbed to the point of doing what he will do. We all know what he did. Uh, it's coming up. He will take the body of a dead snake and just somehow put it around the neck of the sage. So, Prabhupada does mention in the purport also that sometimes, sometimes great personalities might do something wrong, but we have to look closely. Not that their wrongdoing uh, is meant to be encouraged, but in this particular case, and that's why when unusual things happen, like in this case, we need to take recourse of higher authorities. We need to take recourse. That's why the commentaries of our acharyas are most important, because our acharyas are on a higher level of consciousness and understanding, and therefore they are able to give us in cases where it's like unusual, and there are, especially I guess in the Mahabharata, many such stories and incidences as well. Yeah, I mean many. Nevertheless, um, this is explained. I was mentioning just a little bit before you came. You might have read this also. This was the beginning, and it has continued, and I would say intensified over the centuries within our Kali Yuga. This was the beginning of the, what do you call it? Rift, between the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas. Because within society, for any society to nicely function, there needs to be a very close and harmonious relationship between these two classes especially, because they are the most important in terms of leadership within society, Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. And that is uh, that is what, if we are to, that's the mandate we have, if we are to reestablish this culture, this Vedic culture, then we need to, especially, Prabhupada emphasized this on many occasions, we need to train especially qualified Brahmanas and qualified Kshatriyas. And if we look at the pastimes of Krishna and Balaram, when they went to Mathura, what was the special thing that happened when they went to Mathura? I mean, many things happened, but one significant thing when they went to Mathura is that their father and mother, Vasudeva and Devaki, they sent them to Gurukul. You've been in this small village of Vrindavan, you never went to school. You have to go to Gurukul. So we see in the later pastimes, the later or latter pastimes, both is correct?
Latter
Latter
is more
is more accurate,
yeah.
is it? Okay, I'll take it from an English person from Canada.
Well,
Because I'm not.
French Canadian.
Yeah, right.
I'm French Canadian too.
Oh, is it? Huh?
Yeah, Montpetit.
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 Wow. Okay. Okay, let's not divert here. So in the latter stage or part of Krishna's pastimes, when he is in Dwarka, what happens? One, of course, again, many things happen, but one very significant thing happens is that the whole incident with Sudama Vipra, who's a Brahmana, Vipra, but very poor Brahmana, as not all Brahmanas are poor, but it's not uncommon, and it's not a problem also for the Brahmanas, generally, if they're actually Brahmanas, because
Accept the vow of poverty.
yeah, right. So when Sudama Vipra was, he was convinced by his wife. His wife felt that my husband, he's such an exalted person. He's very learned Brahmana, but we barely have any, basic necessities. So, but he has such a nice friend, Krishna. So, anyways, he convinced him, you go and see Krishna. Anyways, you all know this story. But the point I want to make by relating this story is that when Krishna, heard from the doorkeeper, someone, an old friend has come to see you. And Krishna, this was like they hadn't seen each other for many, many years. He ran from the palace. He ran to personally meet, and he was in ecstasy, Krishna, to meet his friend Sudama. Point I'm making, and of course we all know the story. He brought him he sat him on his throne. He washed his feet and like that. So the point being that when Brahmanas and Kshatriyas studied together in the Gurukul, they naturally develop good friendship, and that friendship remains for the whole life.
So Brahmana and Kshatriyas went to the same Gurukul.
Yes.
In sometimes,
Most cases.
yeah, in some cases,
I think most cases.
in most cases,
Yeah.
there are specific Gurukulas for Brahmanas and some for Kshatriyas. I don't know if the majority was for both.
The negative example is of Drupad and Dronacharya studying together. where they were very close friends.
Yes.
That's the other danger in the sense that with a close friend, and Drupad said, I'll give you half of my kingdom when you grow up. And
Right.
then he turned out, hey, I am a king. You are, you know,
Correct.
you're a Brahmana. There's no equality between us. How can you expect I'm going to give you my kingdom?
Yes.
Or even some charity of it. So
Right. Yes.
they studied together and they had the close friendship. Initially, it just soured when they.
Something happened along the way, and yeah, correct. So, so the point being that, especially when it may well be that the majority of gurukulas were like that. In any event, when such opportunity is there for brahmanas and kshatriyas to be in the same gurukul, then it's natural that there will be, a friendly relationship that will be established. Actually, uh, not only brahmanas and kshatriyas, but also vaishyas. They are called, what's the Sanskrit word for these three?
Dvijas,
Ah.
vice born.
Hare Krishna. Got to be quick on the draw. Dvija, yeah. So the Dvijas actually, they study up to a certain level the same subjects. Beginning, that's described actually in the Bhagavatam. Like when Krishna and Balaram went to Sandipani Muni ashram, it describes in the Bhagavatam that they first studied the Vedas, and then they studied let's say Puranas, they studied the 64 arts and sciences, and then at last they studied Dhanurveda because they're Kshatriyas. So in other words, the initial, because they're being trained as not only Raja, but as Rishi, Raja Rishi, Rajarshi. Yeah. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu. Yeah. And they are Raja and Rishis. Nowadays, no one is Raja and no one is Rishi. So we have a tough time. Yeah, right. I mean, when you think of it, because the art or the science of Dandaniti is the science for kings, is a very, I mean, we were giving some seminars on this. We probably might be giving again also on the Kshatriya aspect. Very, very detailed, extremely detailed. For example, the schedule. What is the schedule of a king? Practically every minute of his day is like, he has some particular activity that he does. Very, very disciplined. Kshatriyas are very disciplined. So this type of education, when we actually start studying the subject matters for both brahmanas and kshatriyas, as well as vaishyas actually, very quickly we can understand why most people cannot take up those studies, because they're very, very deep, very involved. They require a lot of attention and good brain actually. Yeah. Yes.
I recalled to the point. I recall the fact that the training increases successively. There's common training for Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and then there's more training for Brahmana, Kshatriya, and then finally Brahmana. Even more. Like there's, what is that verse? Janmana jayate Sudra,
Yes.
samskara bhave dvija.
Yes.
The samskaras for Brahmana, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas.
Yes.
And Ved pathat bhave vipra. So that Veda study is not for the Vaishyas, but it's there for both Kshatriyas and Brahmanas. So even Kshatriyas are Vipra because they are Rajarshis.
Ah, that's
And
a-
then Brahma Janati iti Brahmana.
yes.
So that's even further. So that nicely describes the
Yeah,
successive gradations
the gradation, correct.
of the
Yes, yes.
training.
So that's why generally Brahmanas, they would spend longer time in the Gurukul. Then the second longest would be the Kshatriyas. And then the Vaishyas, the
Maybe
least,
just
the least
samskara.
amount of time. Yeah. And even Prabhupada mentions that they don't need
Training, yes.
yeah, right. Training is in the
So
field.
there, I mean, the field. Yes.
Training is in the field. Yeah.
In Kali Yuga, the training is necessary to some extent because people don't know how to be Vaishyas.
Correct. Absolutely. Yes.
The art of being Vaishya, of taking care of cows, of natural agriculture and everything.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Lost
Yes. All
Yeah,
of
but
these.
that training is different. That training is for those
in the
people
field.
who will decide the young boys' nature and where to classify them and send them to Gurukul or not send to different places. So that's training for the leaders of the society. But this training is for already chosen what is the nature of the person, and then according to that nature they get different type of training.
Yeah, I'm not contradicting that. Just that I'm saying that now we actually need proper Vaishyas.
Yeah.
We don't have proper Vaishyas.
Yes.
Many people who take care of cows these days follow what the karmis, the non-devotees say about cow protection,
Yes.
about taking care of cows. The calf should be taken away from the mother.
Yes.
Must be taken away.
Yes. But I think we should start by having not only trained Vaishyas, but trained Shudras.
Yeah, we need to trust.
When you're living in the
There's no extra effort. It's just people imbibe this value.
yes, 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 and when you're not distracted by these little
Exactly. Samskaras from all over the world.
yes, yes,
Done this on and it's just horrible samskaras.
yes, yes, yeah,
Instead of imbibing the family in which one has grown up. That's why the family values are not the samskaras from all over the world. You just turn the phone on and it's just all
yeah,
garbage.
yes, yes. Prabhupada makes the point about how the whole modern way of living and working, how does he put it? It burns away the finer tissues. It destroys basically. It destroys the finer tissues means the innate natural ability that is there within human beings when they are allowed to live in a more natural environment as they are meant to do. And that's why Prabhupada would say how whole modern system, um, whole modern civilization, modern education, etc., is artificial because it has taken us out of our natural environment and of our natural uh, Vedic prescribed duties. I find it's very helpful to put the word Vedic before prescribed duties.
Who is prescribing?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because
this concept, the basis.
yeah, because somebody will argue, well, I have a diploma in such and such, and I'm doing my work. Yeah, but it's not a Vedic prescribed work.
I'm a butcher in my
yeah, right.
in my duty.
See my yeah, right. So yeah.
That's why Prabhupada told that modern education is a slaughterhouse of the soul, because they are training everyone for being a kind of servant, but like a dull servant. Actually, whatever they ask, it's just repeating whatever they heard without considering it's true or not. They're not allowed it to criticize the principles which they teach. I was just almost kicked out my school because I criticized the biology teacher for some statement, and she was just blow up. And I was, why she is so much angry with me? I was just saying something very logical things, and she couldn't answer. She ran out from the school. I mean, from the room.
From the room.
Anyway,
Yeah. We are training in modern education people to be certified as, uh, what is it? Uh, I mean, we're training them uh, in the art of sense gratification.
Prabhupada made an interesting statement, another interesting statement on modern education. So he first quoted from Chanakya. What did he say? Matravat paradaresu paradravyesu lostravat. Right? Just the first two lines he quoted means Pandit means one who looks at other women as one's mother, others' wealth as a lump of stone.
Mm.
And then he says modern education is exactly opposite. Modern education means how to take away others' money and how to make friends with others' wives.
Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. Upside down.
I had a question.
Yes.
In the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions, which is Vedic injunction, that there are certain individuals who are above the jurisdiction of punishment, like old men, brahmanas, cow, and women,
Should not be punished.
who should not be
Yeah.
punished. And we do see exceptions where, like for instance, Lord Rama, he was asked by was it Vishwamitra or Vashish Muni, who said, kill Tataka when he entered the forest. And Lord Rama objected, she is a woman, I should not kill. And then he explained, no, she is extremely horrible, just believe me, and she is worthy of punishment.
Right.
And then he actually goes and kills Tataka. Similarly, Krishna, after he's born, the first demon or demoness
Right. Right.
is also
Putana. Yeah.
So because they are eligible for punishment, then they are killed. But at the same time, the Shastric injunction is they should not be punished. So is it because they are demoness and not within the human being category that the exception applies, or I'm not? I mean, that's your guess, but I don't fully understand that.
Well, when it mentions here that, as it does in many different places, 5 specific categories, it means those who are actually in that role of Brahmana, or those who are actually dependent, who are actually because sometimes children need to be corrected, but not let's say physically punished. Um, I mean, we're talking about quite extreme cases. Uh, I mean, we're talking about demons in female body. So
That's what I thought, because they're completely
right,
demoness, not even human
it's
beings
very different than from a natural, ordinary, well behaved lady or whatever like that.
But then we also have Aswathama,
Asatama.
where they're deciding whether to kill or not, and Yudhishthira and Draupadi say don't kill, and Bhima and Krishna say kill Arjuna.
Right.
Krishna is telling Arjuna, he's not worthy of exception.
Yes, correct.
And Arjuna is in dilemma and he chooses the middle path.
Right.
But Krishna was very clear, no, he should be killed.
Yes.
I think also there is one principle which shows that in normal situation, normal time, there is one type of duties for everyone, but in emergency time, there are different type of changes. Like for example, yesterday we have discussion about what is the duty of a kshatriya when he's arriving to someone's house and should not ask charity or accept charity, But if the situation is considered not like a normal situation, but an emergency situation, that someone is almost dying, that's the skin is changes, because in emergency, someone who have to maintain their body and life, they can ask for that maintenance, or someone who is a guest, an attentive guest who is just arrives, still have to have some reception. And if someone doesn't receive him properly, that means that doesn't follow the dharma. So the Christians have to protect the dharma of other persons also, so they can punish the person, or at least tell to them that you should properly receive the guest. So if the situation is considered not like normal charity, but some other case, then the different things can be allowed it for Kshatriyas or different persons. That's why it's so complex, the Vedic
There's always
dharma.
an exception
Yeah.
to
Part of the problem is that the whole of Kali Yuga is an emergency,
That's a fact.
especially now. Yeah.
I mean, to be angry, it's okay, but to be envious is not okay for Parikshit Maharaj.
I had the opportunity to practice that when I was ashram teacher.
You had the opportunity to practice being angry.
Being angry properly when I was ashram teacher, because
Oh,
I had first 10 girls and 10 boys to take care of. And we had to go to the temple room in the morning, and there had to be a certain standard of behavior. And there's so many other times during the day.
yes,
I was ashram teacher. I had to teach
yes.
how to, when it's what's proper and all these things. So I noticed that if I became angry and I felt that anger
Mm,
and I chastised out of anger,
mm,
in one ear, out the other.
mm.
In fact, the opposite would happen. Their misbehavior would increase.
Increase.
But if I saw some misbehavior and I thought about it, doesn't have to be like a whole day or hours of scriptural, understanding. And then I displayed some anger in order to teach the lesson. Sometimes it's necessary with children.
the anger is in your control, not that anger has
Over
overtaken you.
you.
That's the
And
difference.
Yeah.
exactly. Then it's useless. That anger is useless, basically. And
Because,
children, they're very sensitive.
Yeah.
They pick up on it.
yeah.
They pick up on it.
Okay, so you can be angry but not affected by your anger,
Right.
kind of.
Displayed anger.
displaying
Displaying
anger.
anger versus being
Without
consumed by
but
feeling
it.
not
that.
feeling angry.
Anger, like enviousness and anger, they go together, basically.
Mm.
Anger has its root in enviousness. We're angry because we're envious of somehow the
Right,
other
exactly.
person.
Yeah.
Mm. So you have fond memories of your.
I what?
You have fond memories of your.
Other group, I learned a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
I learned a lot.
How old were the students?
They were the best age, 5 and 6 year olds. They were big rascals because they had just come from their parents who
Parents.
spoiled them. But they were also very innocent and very willing to accept instruction.
Well, that's.
Is it new now? Was it?
Pardon?
Was it new now?
That was a new.
Yeah. Well, that's why Prabhupada mentions how this is the age that children should start.
Yes.
Yeah, 5, 6,
Maharaj.
5, 6.
After that, you're destroying that. You have to work at destroying so many bad habits.
Yes.
You're more ingrained. The person
Yeah.
becomes more
Yes.
willful.
Yes. Okay. Any comment? Question? Not this one. Okay. So we can close for now.
I read the excerpt that you sent about selecting Varna.
Okay.
So
You mean Bhaktivinoda Thakur?
yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
One thing that really struck me that he was, uh, more gravitating or alluding to the fact that first thing that needs to be checked if the boy is eligible to accept father's varna.
Yeah, to retain his varna.
Yeah.
To retain.
Only when that is not the case,
Yeah.
then
Right.
they determine if he is eligible for another one.
Right.
So
Either
that's
higher
very
or
important.
lower. Either, yeah. Yeah,
Because
that's
ultimately that's the environment that he has absorbed the samskaras.
right. Correct. Yeah.
More likely to be that, but then it has to be evaluated if
Yes.
it's eligible or not. So that's good.
He's making reference to a very important description actually given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in one of his books, Sadhana Toshani, where he explains that actually it is one of the most important responsibilities of brahmanas. This is how it was in villages traditionally, that before a young boy reaches the age of 15, so that means generally between the age of 10 and 15, 12 and 15, like early adolescence, his varna should be identified to not only him but to the whole, to the whole community. Yeah, right. Because then that determines his next course of action. That determines the education and later on his ashram also. I was telling one devotee many years back, you know, um this statement often made by Prabhupada: first is varna, and second is ashram. Yeah, so important to understand our uh, our material varna.
Because also for certain varnas, the kind of ashram they will be in for most of their life will be determined by
Correct.
the varna. Like someone who is Vaishya may not be necessarily a sannyasi.
Correct.
When
Vaishyas do not become
he has
sannyasi.
a qualification.
Only brahmanas are meant to take up the sannyas ashram. Yeah. Sannyas, 4 ashrams are open. Kshatriya, 3.
Three.
Vaishya, 2.
Vaishyas 2 and Sudra only 1.
Right. 4, 3. Yeah. So everything is very nicely ordained, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Because naturally, it's coming from Krishna. So whatever Krishna does or arranges. So it's amazing, if we can begin to understand, and we unfortunately don't. If we can begin to understand that what Krishna has given us is perfect and complete, then what's the problem? We just adopt, what is perfect and complete, and then our headaches will be vastly reduced. Yeah.
Isn't that, in the beginning of the movement, Srila Prabhupada would sometimes tell devotees, like he told Malati, Shamasundar, and most devotees, go to England.
Right.
They were basically they were starting Krishna consciousness in England. They were new devotees,
Yes.
brand new devotees. So not very qualified actually in many ways, but they were sincere.
Yes.
They were following Prabhupada's instruction, chanting 16, therefore they were empowered.
Therefore, they were qualified.
Therefore, what?
Therefore, they were qualified.
Therefore they were qualified. Krishna
That's-
would reveal within the
yes.
heart what to
Right.
do. So it almost seems impossible to set up Daiva Varnashram because, even our own society is kind of chaotic.
Well, in the early days, Prabhupada explains like that also. If I would have, at the beginning, introduced and emphasized about Varnashrama, I would have lost everyone. Kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as we mentioned, that at that days, Prabhupada had so many difficulties with just to build up the basic ashrams. Like the Grihastha ashram was really totally not unknown for any new devotees. So he have to train devotees for being at least grihastas. And then the sannyasis have a lot of difficulties how to become a sannyasi. So he have a lot of things to
Yeah.
do in the ashram, and it's more important the varna, but varna will not spread Krishna consciousness easily if the sannyasis is not there, if the proper grihastas is not there. So more important in one sense to fill up the society with relationships, but to spread Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada have to focus on that level, and he didn't have time. Writing books, I'm sure that in the books he wrote a lot of things for how to
Yes.
develop varnas, but in life he couldn't have time for that.
And at the end, he said, my greatest regret is that I did not set it up.
Yeah, but Lord Krishna didn't keep him for that next period,
Right.
so I think Krishna have a different
Yes.
plan how to teach
Yes.
Varna properly for the next generation.
Yes.
That we have to find out. That's what you are doing.
Yeah. Just like Prabhupada mentioned, that Lord Chaitanya, he introduced the holy name and spread Krishna consciousness in India. But he left the rest of the world to ISKCON, to Srila Prabhupada, to introduce, the Sankirtan movement.
Different personalities appear at different times. Gradually evolve the society, like right from Adi Sankaracharya,
Right.
defeat the Buddhists, and then
Right.
Ramanujacharya to defeat Mayavad, and so that's a whole
Yeah.
gradation.
Yeah.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in Chaitanya Siksamrit that in future empowered personality may appear by the will of the Lord to re-establish on
Yes.
Ashram.
Yeah.
That's a statement of
It's
pure
a-
devotees, it will happen.
Gradual unfolding.
If Prabhupada had not put the chanting of the holy name and the spiritual training first, then very easily this movement could have quickly become simply a repetition of the fake
we we would not be sitting here this morning.
Right. I wouldn't be speaking.
Yes.
I'm a woman. I should just be quiet.
Mhm.
But I'm speaking. I'm always aware. I'm always aware that I'm very fortunate to be speaking.
Yes. Jai Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Sri Prabhupada ki, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
These discussions are wonderful.
Yes.
They're wonderful.
It's unfortunate that there's only one Sunday a week.
Hare Krishna. Well, I figure I should not